All right, so the first question was, what did I start out with, debit or credit? I started out with debit. My mom helped me open up a checking account for students, which are definitely still around. The difference between like a student checking account and just say a regular one is sometimes about minimum balances or about fees, because they know you're a kid. Well, you guys aren't kids, you guys are awesome, but that's sort of the difference there. So opening up a student account, that's a great idea, and you can get that all the way through college. So, you've got your debit tied up to that. And one thing people don't really do anymore that I had to do is keep a check register. So every time I debited something, because there was no online banking, I'd have to write it down. So now you sort of have the luxury of online banking to kind of see, you can go into an app and see what's going on. But the next thing that my mom did for me when I was about 17, I think, is she opened up a credit card with me. Now she had to co-sign, so if I made any huge mistakes, that was her credit at stake too. So I had to be really, really careful. It was Capital One. It had a $500 limit. Oops, sorry. Okay. And it had a ladybug on it. It was super cute. So, was I responsible with that card? No. No, I wasn't. There were times that I overcharged it and I accrued fees. And again, it was because I never paid attention to what I was doing. And so again, what's nice is you regularly checking that app. The best way to build credit is to have a credit card. Now, they actually make something that is a debit combined credit card, where it's a debit card connected to your checking account, but you press the button that says just run as credit and it starts building your credit for you, which means you're not using like fake money in the ether that you have to pay back. You're actually using money that you do have, but still building credit at the same time. So that's a really cool option. Since I didn't live in dorms and I did have to rent an apartment, building the credit was necessary because my parents weren't necessarily credit worthy at the time, meaning their credit was not great. It was a recession and things were very hard. So making sure you start somewhere, because you never know when you'll have to be your own support system. Okay, so what's next?
The second question, do you invest?
I'm actually getting ready to. So I've been taking a look at different ways to invest. Now I'm a little stock shy. I don't think I'm ready to, what they say, like diversify my funds. I feel like I'm not adulting there yet. But one thing I can do is I have a decent chunk of savings that I could potentially put in something like a money market account. The difference between savings and things like money market accounts or certificates of deposit is that the annual yield percentage, it's higher. So in a savings account, I might earn like a penny a month, but over here, you could earn as much as $1 a month. Now the thing is, you sort of have to ask yourself, does that matter to you? Do you want direct access to your savings, in your Chase app or whatever? Or do you want to set it over here and not be able to touch it for a year, for 5 years? The longer you put it away, the higher that percentage is. Personally, I didn't see the point, so I decided not to do that. So I'm looking for other options. But at a certain point, it is that diversifying your funds and looking at stocks and such. Some of you might even know more about that than I do, because I've always been a little scared of it. But it takes wealth to create wealth, so you kind of have to start somewhere. And then don't start doing that kind of stuff. I'm like getting very serious. Don't start doing that kind of stuff until you've accrued 3 months worth of living expenses. You know what I mean? So if you're thinking about your rent and your utilities, your car bill, like if you're going out, $2,000 a month are your real expenses, gas, groceries, then you need to have like $6,000 in savings. before you really start looking at, okay, what else can I do with my money? So that is my thought on that.